hiring is a problem. And most agencies, when I ask them what it costs them to hire an agent, do you think they know the answer? Like what the actual, they have no clue. Do you know what the cost is to hire a bad agent?
Welcome to the Insurance Refocused podcast, where we're highlighting real agent stories and how they are innovating to respond to the changes and challenges happening in the independent insurance industry. My name's Lindsay, and I can't wait to introduce you to my amazing co-host, who just so happens to be my mom, Carrie Wallace. Mom, how you doing today?
All right, folks. Well, today you are in for a special treat. You're just getting me today. Lindsay unfiltered, no Carrie to rein her in. A little terrifying, honestly, but I am pumped. One of the things that I really like about this industry is the salespeople are oftentimes super pumped. And if they're not, I hear from a lot of agency owners that how do I get my sales team more pumped, right? And I think there's things that make a really good sales team and things that can really crash a sales team. And my good friend, Jason Sabo, shout out to him over at INC. We were catching up a couple weeks ago, and he told me that I just have to interview his friend Steve, who he's working with on a new development that INC is working on. So today I'm joined by Steve Heroux. Is that how you say your last name, Steve? I should have asked before we started recording.
Heroux, like kangaroo.
Heroux. Okay, Heroux. Awesome. Great to have you on the show. Hello.
Thanks so much. And thanks, Jason, for the kind words, whatever you said.
Yeah. So how did you get hooked up with Jason?
The infamous patient zero, Mr. Jeff Roy, started all of this. So,
oh my God. One of my favorite people. I love Jeff and Una so much. They're the best.
Again, Jeff, see you soon, buddy. So yeah, Jeff, I randomly did a talk in Toronto, Canada, and he happened to be in the room, and he's like, you gotta meet Abby and Rebecca. Like you have to meet. Started with Abby, and then we talked and met Rebecca, who's awesome, and then Jason, of course. And so that's how it all started. So if anything goes wrong with IANC, you can look up Jeff Roy.
Send the bill to Jeff up in Canada. Well, cool. Steve, would you fill the audience in, give a little background? How long have you been in the industry and what do you do?
Boy, that's a long question. I will start with my whole life, but in this sort of sales world. But from age 0 to age 17, probably, I did not say a word. Okay, like deaf mute. All right. I mean, not like mimes thought I was quiet. So, no dates, no dances, no proms. I mean, nothing. Deathly afraid of people. When it came time to give book reports, and if anybody knows what those are, they're bound things like this with pages. They're called books. We used to have them. So you'd have to actually read and then have to give a report in front of the class, and I would go up in the bathroom and throw up. And so I got to a really expensive business school in Boston and had to help my parents pay for college. And so needed to find a job, and I would do any job, but nobody would hire me. So I ended up getting a job selling Cutco knives. And some of you probably have heard me tell this story, but let's just say politely, my father, also known as Frank Costanza from Seinfeld, forbid me from doing it. So I begged my mother for the money and started begrudgingly selling Cutco knives, and went from a kid not talking at 17 to the number one Cutco rep in the country by my senior year. And so stayed with them for 4 or 5 years running sales teams, and then I went into our industry, the insurance industry, with the company with the duck, which many of y'all know. And my first interview with Aflac, I'll never forget. The guy is at a job fair. He looks at my resume and he goes, "You made money selling Cutco knives." I'm like, "Yes, sir, quite a bit of it." He goes, "You can do Aflac." And I go, I don't even, what is Aflac? I don't know what it is. Insurance? What the hell is it? And He goes, listen, none of that matters. When can you start? So that was my interview with Aflac, and spent 13, 14 years there, and sometime in the middle of my career, about 60,000 agents did a little bit worse than me. So that's my background. I led sales teams for them. And now I get to coach and speak and write and train and help inspire salespeople to sell with honesty and integrity and humility and authenticity. And so I have a couple of companies, one called the Sales Collective, which we do a lot of work, again, with companies and agencies, helping them find the right people, helping them put the right people in the right seats, of course, training, coaching, and developing and building processes. And so, that's really takes up a huge part of what we do to try to help companies and agencies reimagine their sales motion from the top. And then my nonprofit, which probably fills me with the most spirit, it's called the Million Veteran Mission. And so I am on a mission to teach 1 million veterans how to sell. We do not do enough for our heroes. Everybody knows this. 200,000 women and men come out of the service every year and transition back into civilian life and have no idea what they want to do. And a bunch of them are in insurance. And so they get access to all of my contrarian selling content, which is the stuff that I built for individual salespeople for free for life. So if anybody listening knows the amazing hero of ours, I'd love an intro.
Wow. That, the sales stuff and the sales training and your story of Cutco and everything you did there, really amazing. But to be providing, the country's heroes with these skills, that's absolutely awesome. Do you know what number you're at now? Is it like something
Nope.
you actually keep track of?
Nope.
No, you just want to help everyone.
Yep.
That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah. And if it's one or a million one, right? It doesn't matter to me. We just want to help the people that want to be helped, and the feedback. It's very humbling. We have a current Navy SEAL in now. We have a decorated Marine 2 tours in Iraq. And when you get a Marine who's done combat tours in Iraq, thanking you for what you've done for him, it's obviously undeserving because we owe them all our thanks and gratitude forever. But it's more rewarding even than I thought it probably would be. And we have some connections with some veteran organizations already that are really excited to spread the word. So any intros would be amazing.
That's awesome. If someone's listening to this and is maybe a veteran themselves or has a veteran on their team, how can they find information on that program?
So it's easy. The URL is themillionveteranmission.org. And so anybody can go on there. You can connect with me on LinkedIn, but it's quite simple. It's about $2,500 worth of stuff. So you get access to all my contrarian selling content for free for life. And they also, as we were talking about off camera, get a free sales DNA test. And, these are $650, but thanks to the company we partner with, where we get them, when I told Ben, who owns the company, what I was doing, and I wanted to get a discounted sales DNA because I can't obviously front $650 for every veteran, but
Absolutely,
I wanted to. But I'm like, hey, can we get a discount? And Ben, who owns the company we get sales DNA from, goes, how about $0? And I didn't know his best friend was a Marine. So any veteran like that goes through contrarian selling gets a DNA test for free also.
That's awesome.
So
that's really awesome.
That's pretty awesome.
Well, I think that leads us directly into what I was hoping to chat with you about today. So at Agency Focus, one of the things that makes evaluation really complicated, but also is hard for an agency to scale without doing, is having separated sales and service roles within their organization. So a lot of independent insurance agencies, based out of necessity, right, have those merged. And I'm curious on your opinion because there's a lot of conversations about right seat, right people in the right seat, get your people on the bus where they need to be, right? In your role, how do you help your agencies determine who needs to pivot to the sales role and pivot to the service role? Um, and what are your thoughts on how they determine who needs to be there? What are the skills you're looking for in those people? And what makes a good person in each of those sections?
So that is frankly a pretty easy answer, but it's something that we call sales DNA, the sales DNA test I was just talking about for our
Okay.
heroes. And Jason, yeah, obviously can corroborate this. He loves sales DNA and how much it's helped him. But there are a lot of assessments out there, right, that people want to use, right, to try to determine who's the best fit for this role. And if we take this out of insurance for a second, let's just go to football. And unfortunately, the Patriots lost. Okay, I get it, big deal, whatever, right? But so what? So you know where I'm from anyway. Now, but if you wanted, okay, a wide receiver, right? You wanted a wide receiver to run long patterns. Would you want them to be fast? Just a guess. I mean,
Yeah, I'd want them to be
okay.
fast.
How would you know that they're fast? Just hope?
No, I'd probably line a bunch up on a line and make them run, right?
Oh,
That's
oh, cool. So you'd assess them. Oh, what a surprise, right? This is a companies don't even do this, right? The other thing, let's go to a different position. Let's go to quarterback, right? Which, by the way, Sam Darnold, who won the Super Bowl with Seattle, what an amazing story of perseverance. I just love the guy. But the, there are teams in the National Football League who are very poor at drafting, okay, hiring, putting people in the right seat. And you would think if you want to draft a quarterback, the number one skill they should have, what do you think it is? And don't overthink
throwing the
this.
ball.
You would think, nope. Let's see what they're like on the plane, playing poker with the team. Let's check the culture matchup. No, wrong. Can the dude throw a ball? So
Okay, yeah.
you have a million assessments out there that don't tell you whether or not the person can sell insurance. That's why we use sales DNA, right? It is the only assessment on earth that can tell you whether or not, with predictive validity, if somebody can sell what you sell. So these sales DNA tests are all built specific to the role. Can she sell Bob Ross coffee cups in, Charlotte, North Carolina? Like, that's what you want to know, right? So that's why we use sales DNA. And there are some other assessments out there that are good, but they have nothing to do with sales. And that's where so many agencies get this wrong. Jason's been so kind, and Abby and Rebecca, to introduce us to several other, associations. And hiring is a problem. And most agencies, when I ask them what it costs them to hire an agent, do you think they know the answer? Like what the
Absolutely not.
actual, they have no clue. Do you know what the cost is to hire a bad agent?
Off the top of my head, no. Well, no, I don't.
So all of the estimates, and I've 20 years of research on this stuff, and studies and surveys and all that stuff. The bottom, the lowest number you can find is 75 grand. That's the lowest number you can find that it will cost an agency to make one singular bad hire. But the norm, the medians, the averages are all in the $150,000 to $250,000 range. That is just an agent at an agency. A normal salesperson at a normal company outside of insurance, a 100K salesperson, costs a company on average 1.2 million in lost revenue.
Holy crap.
That's one. So if you do not hire properly, or at least not horribly. I was doing a keynote in Iowa a couple weeks ago, and someone was like, "So what do you guys do?" And it just popped into my head. I never really thought of it. I say, "We're in disaster mitigation." She goes, "What? Like like service master? What? I thought you were like a sales company." Oh yeah, we are. We mitigate disastrous sales hires, and it is immensely destructive, even more in the insurance industry. Do you know how many insurance agents that get hired are still with their agency 12 months later?
I don't actually know that statistic.
30%.
So there's only a 30% retention for 1
Correct.
year of a producer.
Yes. Do you know what it is after 5 years?
No.
5%.
Holy crap.
Add all that up, and still agencies don't seem to think it's a problem. And so what what they try to do is sort of what you almost said in your lead in, like, how do we motivate our agents? And I'll save everybody listening to this the time and effort and the anxiety and angina. You can't. People are motivated or they're not, and that's it. And I don't know if you have experienced any, work with horses before, or they even have horses and
I
stuff.
have. I've done a lot of work with horses.
Okay. So you've heard the phrase, you can lead a horse to water, but
You can't make them drink it.
I don't like that phrase, unsurprisingly. Here's my phrase: find thirsty horses. What happens if you pull a horse that doesn't want to move?
They dig in.
Oh, so you should just get behind it and then motivate it, right?
Mm,
That's what these companies keep doing. So you've got to
interesting.
find thirsty horses. That's what sales DNA does. And to talk about what you said before about are they better for service team or better for the sales team? Well, if you don't have a motivated horse, I don't care what side they're on, they're not the right fit for that role. So that's why we have sales DNA for salespeople, right? For agents or producers, that we have non-selling role, right? Which is generally what we give to people who are CSRs, CSAs, right? Account managers, whatever industry we're in, to be able to see, again, are they the right fit? And we talked about the success rate, the math, right? Which is just alarming. But with sales DNA, when sales DNA is used in the hiring process, 72% of people that get hired that the test recommends for an interview become top half performers within 12 months.
That's awesome.
So
So
we know the data, and that helps people make less horrible decisions with hiring.
if I'm an agency owner listening to this right now, I'm probably thinking to myself, wow, I have really not thirsty horses. I could be thinking that to myself. I have not thirsty horses. Um, okay, I know that I need to test my horse with
Yes.
this DNA test, but
Yeah.
where do I find the horses? So the agencies that you're working with that are actively recruiting new producers, are they coming from outside the industry? Are they coming from inside the industry? Where are you finding them?
Yeah, this is also funny. My buddy just texted me, you better go get your gold at Costco. Again, it's nothing to do with this, but like Costco sells gold now, right? So
Interesting.
you have to know how to find the gold, right? Like if you mine gold, like it's not just sitting there, in the grass. Like
Right.
you have to know what to do, where to find it, what equipment to use, what sonar, what LiDAR. Like you have to know that, or
Yep.
you ain't finding gold. This is where 90+% of agencies fail. They walk around in some grass and try to find some gold, right? They have no idea how to do it. So what they think they do first is, let me just ask around. Hey, anyone know anyone who'd be good at sales or interested in salespeople? Okay, that's horrendous. Second, if you were going to try to hire or try to recruit a producer, how would you do it? How would you get the word out there?
This is probably going to be a bad answer, Steve, and I'm a little
Sure.
embarrassed to say it, but I'd probably post a job.
So that's what most people do, right? So whatever, Indeed, LinkedIn, Wisehire, wherever you put them, right? You post the job. Do you know what most agencies post on these job sites?
Probably like a chat GPT generated like job
Or
description.
correct. They put a job
Mhm.
description.
Yep.
Guess what you should never put in a job ad? A
A job
job description.
description? Tell me more about that.
So a job description, this is for everybody listening, a job description clearly describes what the roles and responsibilities are of the job. What
Mhm.
are the duties, right? What's required, blah, blah, blah. Zero human beings in the history of humanity who are looking for jobs have ever seen a traditional job ad, gone home, told their husband or wife, and go, honey, I've been waiting for this for 30 years. I have finally found my home. Look at this. I have 3+ years of Excel. Okay. 0 times that has happened. You are getting nobody of consequence. If you post a job description, there are 0 amazing people who will look at roles and responsibilities and then go, oh, I want to work there. So if your job ad is terrible, guess what kind of candidates you get to pick from?
Terrible ones.
So a job ad has got to describe the person you want, not the role.
Okay.
And this is tough because this is something we do and what I've helped so many clients. Who generally writes the job ad?
I think the hiring manager, right?
Okay. How much training, coaching, expertise, learning, education have they had in writing professional copy?
Likely none.
Oh, 0. So guess what the ads are like? I mean, this is what happens. So that's the toughest part is if you don't know what to put in the job ad, you have no chance. So that's why we have to help clients to it. Because if you want to hire the right people, you have to kiss a lot of frogs to find the princesses. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
And this is how companies end up hiring. They go, oh, well, we got Tim and Jen. Well, Jen doesn't have any felonies, so guess we'll go with her. Like that's how they hire people, like because they don't have a lot of applicants, and even if they happen to get a handful of applicants who are marginal at best, how do agencies make a hire? What is the number one factor?
Money,
Nope. What is the number
location.
one reason? It's a bad question. Let me re-ask it. What's
Okay.
the number one reason an employer, an agency will choose to hire someone over another? What's the number one reason?
I don't know.
They like them.
Oh, well, I guess that, yeah.
They like them. Not are they good at the job. Not would they be great with our team. Like they like the person. And
Okay.
we wonder why the failure rate is so high.
Interesting.
Here's another one I'll give you, then we can move on. And this happened
Okay.
recently with an agency. I said, well, what's one of the factors you're looking for? And they go, well, we want someone who's already licensed. I said, what does that have to do with anything? Well, they're already licensed. Are they good at selling insurance? What?
Yeah, I see your
Already
point.
licensed.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Have you ever driven a car? Have you seen some of these nuts on the road? They have no concept of how to drive a car, and they're licensed.
Yeah.
So, so it's about how
So
much alike.
that's funny. The car analogy is really funny. The agencies that you're seeing that are hiring these really, you know, performing producers, are most of them coming from outside of the industry, coming from inside the industry, or where are they being found?
I will answer this as honestly as I possibly can. Most of the agencies don't work with us.
Most of the agencies don't work with you. What do
Yeah,
you mean by that?
99% of our clients are not in insurance.
Oh, okay. Understood. Got it.
They don't think they have a problem. They will continue to do this for 25 years over and over and over. And a bunch of agency owners, they want to sell or get acquired. Okay, you have very little value, right? If you do not know how to recruit, retain, and train great people, but they will keep doing the same thing over and over and over. And I shared with you my background with Aflac.
Mhm.
How much insurance industry experience did I have?
None. You
Oh,
sold
zero.
sold Cutco. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And selling knives and selling insurance couldn't be more different. So this block that almost everyone in this industry has, that I would need someone with experience. No, you don't. Because
Yeah.
if you pick someone who does the same crap that everyone hates, and they're doing all these sales tricks and manipulation from 1978, all this stuff, you're going to get more of the same. So that's why sales DNA is also really important, because it's not about what you sell, it's about the will to sell, right? And that is something that we measure in sales DNA. And if someone does not possess what we call the will to sell, there is zero chance they become a top performer. Zero. They'll just be a body in your office, right?
Right.
So it's irrelevant what their experience is, right? Do they have the will to sell or do they not? So that's what I see, right? And that's in insurance, not insurance, every other industry we work in. But this industry is so stuck in their ways, and they just continue to do the same things, right? With these fossilized platitudes and tricks. And, it's like, but they can't seem to figure out why we're not growing. It's odd, right? And we're here to help, but you can only help people who think they need help.
Mhm.
It's very much like addiction. We are talking about this. My dad, who's 44 years in recovery, you have to want to stop, right? You can't make someone stop drinking or stop doing drugs or stop doing things. They have to want it. So
Right.
the good part about us is, like, we are lucky and grateful, like, that we get to choose, who we work with. And I teach this a lot, and this is really important for people listening on the call. Just because somebody wants to buy insurance from you does not mean you have to sell it to them.
True.
But that's not what the agents are told. What are the agents told?
If someone wants to buy it, you go hunt them down and sell it.
Well,
Yeah.
sell to everybody. Okay, wrong. So you can't work with everyone.
Well,
So
and you know what,
very much.
Steve, the agencies that we see that are the most profitable
Yeah,
agencies in their valuation, or fractional CFO client of ours,
yeah,
they niche down, whether that's their 100% personal lines, or we only write these specific types or specific type of companies. Um, those are the absolute most profitable. And guess what?
yes,
Our agencies that are 100% personal lines, they refer out 100% of their commercial lines lead. Doesn't matter if this person has 4 home policies, all, multi-million dollar homes. Oh, you have a business too? Go write it with my friend Joe. Like, don't care. I'm not writing it. And that's what allows you to have these processes in place and have your employees trained in a
Yes.
way where they are operating like a well-oiled machine. So 100%.
It's also something I wanted to bring up. And when we talk about like what we offer, right, for producers and insurance salespeople, whatever, like what's the pay? There are agencies, right, who say, well, I want to pay, a $30,000 base. I go, you're alive, like you live in the US, right? Like you're breathing air with, like you're in 2026. 30,000. What are you talking about? No. And by the way, if you want to get the lowest, cheapest possible person, what part of your brain thinks that they're going to be good? Like, it's really crazy, like defies human brain function when agencies think this way and go, we'll offer like nothing. Actually, how about we just do like all commission, like it was nothing at all, right? And they think they're going to find good people. It is so rare to find good people, even on the CSR or the CSA side. And I looked up, do you know what the average CSR earns in the United States?
In the US, it's something like, I want to say it's like 50.
Yeah,
Is it lower
51,000
than 50?
ish,
Yeah.
right? 51. If you find someone who's amazing, right? And she or he says, I think I'm worth 60, right? I've got experience. I have great customer service background. I have testimony, all this stuff. They won't pay the person.
Yeah.
Like,
depending on the agency. Yeah.
are you insane? But this is why companies struggle. And then guess who they blame?
The employee.
Who else? Industry, the weather, the sun,
I
Abby,
didn't know where you were going.
my wife, my husband. Like, look in the mirror, right? We have so many answers, right, that are within ourselves. We keep doing these things that aren't working and then blaming everyone else. Like, so skimping on talent, yeah, that's not gonna work. You have to pay for great people. This is how it works in sports. This is how it works on Broadway. This is how it works in Hollywood. There's a reason you got to pay Steven Spielberg $100 million to direct a film. Okay, he's not gonna say, sure, I'll do it for $1 million. Why would he ever do that? He knows his worth. So these are some of the things we want to work and help these agencies with. But again, they got to be open-minded and they got to realize what they're doing isn't working.
Absolutely. All right. Well, if an agency is interested in contracting you for help finding great sales employees, motivating great sales employees, how can they find you?
So thesalescollective.com, that's an easy one, or Steve at the Sales Collective. Jason has been such a good friend, and Abby and Rebecca, of course. If anybody wants to talk to them about how we've been to work with, and so thankful to have, other clients that have been really happy. But one thing I want to make sure is Jason's done such a good job, and we built this thing called Insurance Growth Academy, which is live training every other week for 12 weeks. And it's been awesome. So people who are listening, ask Jason about that, or you can ask us about Insurance Growth Academy and having your people part of it. We've been working on it for probably a year or 2 years. This is the second cohort, and the feedback has been amazing. So we offer that to all kinds of folks, not just in IIANC, but other insurance industry associations around the country. They all get to be part of it because Jason, Abby, and Rebecca are so awesome.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you, Steve, so much for joining the show. Really enjoyed having you.
Thanks, Lindsay. Thanks, everybody. Talk soon.
Thanks so much for tuning in to the Insurance Refocused podcast. If you enjoyed the episode, please be sure to hit subscribe and leave us a review so you'll never miss us. Want to learn more about how Agency Focus can help you grow your agency? Head to agency-focus.com or email Carrie directly at carrie@agency-focus.com. If you need to get in touch with me, feel free to shoot me an email at lindsay@agency-focus.com. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week.